give him assist with the chair? Are we on record? All right, this is D483347. Ma'am, if you could state your name and spell your last name.
Diana Buckley, Buchele.
And you're still representing yourself, ma'am?
Yes.
And sir, if you could state your name and spell your last name.
Thomas Buckley, Buchele.
And you're representing yourself, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. My understanding is the parties were unable to reach some type of a resolution with Judge Jordan. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. At the last hearing, I had requested that each of you prepare your exhibits and your exhibit list and to be put in a proper format. We had a discussion that you cannot submit exhibits on a computer disk and that they would have to be put in a paper format, organized in binders with tabs, with the plaintiff using numbers and defendant using letters. And I was I took a lot of time to go through that process to explain to the two of you on how to do that. I don't know if the two of you have done that as of yet.
I was under the understanding it's when we were going to trial that was when it was due.
That's the same. I understood, sir.
All right. Well, I'm going to need to have that done because there's no way that we can go to trial. I mean, you can't submit something on a computer disk, sir. That's just not possible.
The only thing on the disc would be videos, correct?
If you have some type of video of property that when you went, because I allowed you to take photographs and videos, a video could be on a disc because it'd have to be on a disc. There'd be no other way to submit it.
I do have one question, sir. With all going back 2 years for my corporate account records, copies of every check, and then personal accounts. Cause over the last 2 years, have been like 3 different accounts, but there's 1,800 pages of individual checks and all that. Do you need just the statements or each individual check?
Well, what I would like to do, because at some point we're going to have to make some sense out of everything that's going on in the lives of the two of you. I would like at least right now to have the bank statements from those businesses and that you exchange them so you have them.
I did that, Your Honor. I had given him that big box of everything, and I have all the checks that were required for both my business and personal. I did everything that was, and I had it all in binders and everything.
But she took the box back from me at the last hearing. I assume she had to make more copies or something. And I can do the full thing, but it's be quite costly to make 3 copies of all that paperwork.
Well, I don't know how we get around it, sir,
Well,
because if you're going to go to trial and you're going to make representations on the financial status of your company, did you ever have like a CPA at all, sir, involved in your company?
I've got an accountant, but he really hasn't been doing anything for this last year since I went in the hospital. It's been it's been 8 months. And I have the tax, all the Schedule C from 2012 that shows where the corporation funded them over, and that includes house payments and all that were paid out of the corporation and telephone bills and all that, where we grossed our I think it was $77,000 for 2012. Then taxes were based on that. 2013, I've got the check statements and all. I have to print them all out, but I have the statements and the checks.
Let me ask you this, sir. My understanding is approximately 8 months ago, you were in the hospital and you had some serious health issues, correct?
Yes.
And additionally, and I can't say if it was 4 months ago, 5 months ago, but there was a project that you were going to be working on, and that I believe that the plaintiff was going to drive the water truck and get paid $40 an hour, if I'm not mistaken. If this is 45, and that there had been some, not necessarily a complete government shutdown, but certainly a slowdown, and you indicated that project that somebody else had to come on. Is that correct?
That's correct, and I have the paperwork for that.
Just hold on.
I'm sorry.
So, are you at this time is your business generating any income?
My business is totally shut down. The equipment's gone. I owed 3 different people over $15,000 each loans against the equipment. Sir, on that job we were talking about, it was for Pace Construction doing trails up the other end of town. They brought Patriot in to finish it. Otherwise, they're going to sue me for my house and everything else because I couldn't complete it. The two men I had out there besides Diana was out there in a water truck for a couple of days each week. But the 2 men I had out there, I found out were just sitting around not working. And they got on me.
Okay, so ma'am, do you have any reason to believe that what he's stating here in court is not correct?
It's not correct, Your Honor.
So you believe that he's still working out there?
He has the other company working for him, but we were working. He did not want to finish the job. I did a subpoena to Pace. Pace called him and he told them not to comply with showing records, that it was a false subpoena, which the subpoena I got from the health center here. And
so you believe that he still is earning an income from those businesses?
Yes, I do.
And what is your basis for that belief, ma'am?
When I was at the house picking up my things, he was on the phone with other contractors, not just Pace, doing other businesses, some demo and all that. And he made the comment to me, well, I guess you can tell your attorney I do have some income coming. So he does have other things going on besides just that job.
All right, sir, do you have any income whatsoever?
I have absolutely nothing. Everything she said is false about talking to other contractors. And as far as Patriot and Pace, that contract I had going, I explained to you, sir, they were going to shut down. They did shut me down. They took over the job, told me I could either bring Patriot in, take over the job.
Did they provide some type of letters to you, sir?
Yes, they did.
And did you exchange those letters to her?
No, I haven't.
Why not?
I haven't. I will.
Well,
and Pace, she did take in. Pace called me, the president of Pace over there, the vice president of Pace that runs it. He called me and said she brought in some paper, and he was all mad. I said, well, read it. He says, well, his boss, his president, is an attorney. He read it over and said it was garbage.
well, sir, it's not your responsibility to defend another corporation regarding a subpoena. That you can't even get involved in that because you don't represent that corporation. And as to whether or not that's a valid subpoena or not, they're the ones who have to respond to that. And generally, if somebody's objecting to a subpoena, they have to object within a particular time frame. So I'm not addressing that here today, but you can't defend them because that's their responsibility to defend that.
May I ask a question?
Wait, hold on. Parties shall exchange all copies of checks, personal and business, from the period of January 2012 to the present, no later than November 27th, 2013. That was ordered back on October 28th. That was the order of this court. Parties shall exchange any and all credit card statements from January 2012 to the present, no later than November 27th, 2013. That was already on the order of this court. Sir, that should have been done.
Right. Now, I didn't do it on paper, sir. I did put it on disc, and I found out the last hearing I had messed up on that one. I will
Well,
get
you're going
copies.
to have to get that printed out, and you're going to have to provide it to her. Additionally, if you have any letters regarding that job that you were on that was taken over, where they've showed that if you didn't allow the other company to take over, that they were going to sue you. That information, you need to provide to her.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I need to get the two of you divorced, and you're again. I'm going to have you can remain seated, sir. Ma'am, I'm going to have you stand up. I'm going to put you under oath again. Yes. Yes.
Please raise your right hand. You and each of you do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
All right.
I do have one question, if I may.
Hold on, though. The two of you have made statements to this court this morning, and your testimony is that the statements that you made to this court this morning are true and accurate. Is that correct, ma'am? And
Yes.
you also. Sir, and your testimony again under oath is that when's the last time you received any income from any source other than your retirement or Social Security? So any other source, when's the last time you received income?
The last check that came in from Pace Construction for that trail job, I believe, was July 30th, and that went straight through the company to pay a material supplier and Patriot Contracting. They were in there doing the job at that time.
And so you received zero.
I received zero, sir.
Okay. And outside of PACE, have you received any other money by way of source of income?
Yes, I received $180 off a demolition job at the airport at Clausen Construction or Clausen Demo. They call them Trusted Hauling and Cleanup. They went in and did that project. It was two rental car places. They had to go in and move the counters out and take down some false walls.
And when was that?
That was November, December. Went on for a few days. They were only in one 3 days, and the other one like 4
And how did they pay you? Did they pay you by way of a check?
No, that was a wire transfer into my account, and I turned around and paid Clausen out of that, and I got $180 out of that.
Was there a contract for that, sir?
Actually, it was a letter of intent. It wasn't even a signed contract. I do have copies of that.
Well, you're going to have to provide that also. So outside of the money from July 30th that you said you've got zero, and outside of the $180 for the demolition sometime in November, December, in the last coming from July forward, have you received any other funds?
Only from my daughter.
Okay, and how much have you received from her? I
really don't know. She helps me pay my utilities and my phone bills and stuff like that. I get $1,000 a month Social Security, and that goes toward the rent or the mortgage payment.
So you have no idea how much your daughter...
No, she just comes out and helps me out, and her sister actually goes to the store and buys me groceries. And I do have one question. How come I'm expected to do everything, sir, and she's not expected to work? She has 6 different occupations.
Sir, she provided the documents that I requested.
Yeah.
All right, you have not. You have it on a disc, but that's not providing. You were supposed to exchange those documents and provide it to her, and that was ordered back in October. So that is your responsibility. I'm asking the two of you questions right now, and I'm going to ask her some questions also. This court was hoping that the crafts and some of the other issues out there or items that the two of you were going to sell them, and you'd have money to live off of. That she was going to maybe sell some fudge, do something, to get some income in. But that has not taken place, and you're both saying that the other person has the majority of those items. I believe the kettle, you've indicated that you actually have the kettle. I believe the video cameras, you have those.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what the fair market value of those are, but some of those items, the two of you should at some point try to get out of this divorce and be done and go your separate ways. In that regard, I don't know what the market is for use the video cameras that you had there. I think at some point somebody said they might have cost $10,000. I don't recall the exact number, $4,000. But you need to try to get out of this divorce and be done and go your separate ways where you don't see each other anymore.
I have the stainless steel, most of the stainless steel counters and that, and I called 4 of the places in town. In fact, 2 of them we actually bought the stuff from. It's been 2 years ago now, I guess, or not quite 2 years. But they came out and offered $1,700 for all this. Now it's a double refrigerator. I think it was $1,600 for, and an ice maker I paid $1,700 for. Besides the stainless steel, I paid anywhere from $600 to $800 for each table, and they offered $1,700. Forget it. I'm not. I'll give her $800 and put them in the garage and use them for a tool bench.
Well, that's something the two of you could potentially discuss and send letters of, offers to each other. You can't include me on it, but the two of you can offer each other on how to settle this. That's why I sent you to a senior judge, because he could sit down there and talk to the two of you and try to have this matter resolved and figure out what each of you would keep in your possession as your sole separate property, and get the two of you out of here. But apparently that did not work out too well. All right, so how does your daughter provide money to you, sir? Does she put it in your bank account?
No, she brings me cash. She comes up or I go down there. I was down there.
So she brings, you pay, your $1,000 goes towards the marital residence.
Right, that's the first and the second payment.
Okay, and as far as you're telling me you have no idea how much cash she gives you on any given month?
She helps out with my phone bill and internet. Right now, I canceled my home phone and my internet service. I have a mobile
Sir,
phone.
I'm just
service.
asking you a question on how much money you believe she gives you.
I don't know. That's
Well, you should probably keep track of it. So get out a ledger, and when she gives you money, you're going to need to keep track of it. So outside of the $180 and the money that you get from your daughter, you have no other sources of funds. Is that correct? All right. As to you, ma'am, outside of what you're getting by way of Social Securities, what other funds are you getting or receiving?
I receive nothing other than my Social Security.
So you don't have any family members or friends or anybody who's helping you out?
No, Your Honor.
And you're currently living where, ma'am?
At 4927 Wild Time.
And is that person allowing you to live there for free?
No.
How much you paying on rent?
400. But I owe him because he paid for my attorney, Don Thorne, last time. And
So that would be a source of funds that you had received, right, from somebody who you're saying lent you money, correct?
he lent me money for the attorney, plus I owe him for the rent because I can't make ends meet.
All right, and again, ma'am, same. I need to know as far as what sources of funds that you are getting. You know, whether it's from employment or friends helping you out.
That was back to get the attorney, Don Thorne.
And that was
He used his credit card in order to pay for the attorney. I'm just saying that's what I owe him plus on my rent. The only income I have is the $780 a month Social Security. I take it back. I get $11 a month for food stamp.
just $11 for food stamps.
That's it.
So other than your friend who paid for the attorney and you still owe rent, there's no other sources of funds that you've had.
I could have had income, Your Honor, but I've never gotten the supplies from my store. I have old crafts that he allowed me to have. I've never gotten my paperwork. I've never gotten what was court ordered that I should get. He still has my clothing. I didn't get all of that. He has not given me my paperwork. He's not given me my personal things. And he has not given me, other than a few items from my store. He has kept everything from that store except for my last load that I took out that had the camera system, a couple of countertops, and the counters. Most everything got broken trying to take it out because there was not professionals doing it.
All right, so as to the two of you, other than your Social Security that you're receiving, neither of you have any pensions or 401ks or anything like that, correct?
Correct. No, we don't.
So it's just a matter of this court looking at whatever personal property that is still there and looking at whatever sources that you may have Are you doing your taxes for 2013, sir?
Yep.
You still have your, when's the last time any money went into your bank account from your business?
That demolition job that I just spoke of at the airport.
That was November or December?
Well, actually, it was like the first part of this month. It was wire transferred in from
But that was,
Johnson Carlier out of Arizona. They were the general contractor. They put it in my account, and I kept that 180 out and sent the balance in a check form over to. Actually, it was 2 checks. One was actually a personal check and a business check over to them. I had funded them $1,000 up front on that because they had their people they had to try and pay, and I had money in two accounts, some of my personal and some of my business. I gave them $500 out of each one and paid them at that point until I got this other money in.
okay, we are currently set, I believe, is it March 14th?
Right.
We're set for a full day trial on March 14th. I need to have a time frame for the two of you to provide your exhibits, have them exchanged, have it in the fashion that I have ordered that you provided it, and I need to put a time frame out there so you can do that, so the two of you have that done. And then I'm going to put it on a status check, and the both of you are going to have to bring in here your documents that you have by way of your exhibit binders, what you want this court to consider. And I want to have that done. And so as far as a time frame, how quickly do you think you could have that all organized, ma'am?
What is today?
Today is the 30th.
Can we do it, say, like the 24th of February?
February? What day's the 24th?
It's a Monday.
Let me look at my calendar here real quick. Yeah, I think so. All right, I'm going to put this on for 1 o'clock on March 3rd. And we're going to have a status check, and no later than February 26th. I'll even give you to the 27th, which will give you 4 weeks. No later than the 27th at 5 p.m., you're going to have your exhibit lists prepared, and you're going to have to do those binders that I showed you last time, and you're going to have to comply with the exchange of documents that I'm ordering on this case.
Just do that between ourselves, or bring them?
Yeah,
in
you're gonna prepare again 3 binders. So you're going to have one that you're going to keep, one that you're going to provide to the other side, and one that you're going to bring into court on the 3rd at 1 p.m. So you're going to each bring me a copy of your exhibits as they need to be prepared in paper format in accordance with the instruction that I've given you. I'm going to give you all the prior orders that we've had in this case regarding financial documents that you need to exchange. In addition, you'll have the minute order from today regarding the additional documents that I'm requesting that you provide. You said you had a document showing on your business, sir, that if Pace didn't take over it, that you were going to be sued. If you have money coming in on that letter of intent for that job that you got $180, you need to provide her that information. The two of you need to, as far as your bank statements, I'm going to request that your bank statements through the month of January now, because I want all those bank statements, current through January, your January bank statements. So you should be able to have those and provide copies of those. And then at that time, we'll be back here on March 3rd, and we'll have to address this. I don't know if we have another date, I believe, in May that we're set for May 2nd. We'll see where the two of you are at. What I'm going to put in the order from today, and the two of you need to be very, understand this very clearly. If you fail to abide by this court order, you may be limited in the information that you could present to this court by way of your exhibits. So that means if you have some claims that you're requesting that the court consider, or some defenses, and you're not providing these documentations in a timely fashion, and not placed in exhibit binders in a timely fashion, you may be precluded from making those claims. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
You understand that, ma'am?
Sir, I do have another question on that. May 3rd, is that going to be a trial? Or
No, I'm
just the paper?
No, this is for you to bring in your exhibits. I believe you've already filed list of witnesses from before. If you need to update that at all, you can do that. But this is to make sure that we have everything that we need for the trial on this. You should probably also for the 3rd, when you come in, you should do a pretrial memorandum like you did last time on the financial issues that you are requesting. Last time the evidentiary hearing was only on the exchange of the items that I had ordered before at the house. I put a specific order. At this point, it's going to address all the issues in the divorce, as far as what you're requesting by way of property, if either of you is requesting any support, that the court adjudicate any bills, whatever you want me to do by way of the property, you're going to have to specifically state that in a new pretrial memorandum. You understand that, sir? Because the last time it was just for a limited purpose. The court is still going to, ultimately make findings and rulings on that hearing by when I do the final decision on the divorce. So anything out there that you still think that you're entitled to by way of personal property, furniture, the marital residence, have the two of you decided what you want to do with that?
We both want it.
Do we know if there's any equity in that, in the marital residence?
He says there isn't, but I brought in paperwork to the other judge and tried to show that there is equity in the house.
I can show paperwork that there's no equity. There's 2 tax liens on the house. The property is totally upside down. The value is anywhere from 160 to 180 today.
Well, okay. Is there any objection just to putting it up for sale, and whether it's a short sale or any sale of that property, and whatever comes out of that, as far as if there's any equity that you're able to get, you would share that equally. If there's any liability from a short sale down the road, that the two of you would share that equally, and that you would both cooperate. You would select a realtor who would be able to do that. To the extent that the two of you cannot agree on a realtor, I could have you just each submit a name of a licensed realtor who would be able to put that property, list it and sell it, and that you would both submit a name and the court would just select one of those, the names selected or provided to the court, and that the two of you would have an obligation to work in good faith to sign whatever documentation it would be to list that property and to have it sold. Is that something you're comfortable with, sir?
Not really, because there's no equity in there, sir. I mean, if we're gonna wind up being liable at the end of a short sale, what good is that gonna do either one of us? She's got 800, I've got 1,000 a month.
I don't know how else we're going to resolve it. If it's a community asset, and you both want to live in it, and you're not going to live together anymore.
No.
I'm not thinking that you want her to live in there, sir.
That's a possibility. That would be,
That you would move out and she would
I
live
would
in there.
move out. I'd not give her the house. I mean, there'd have to be some compensation to me, the same, I'm ready to move out, sell the house, whatever. What I'm saying about a short sale, sir, is that
I'm not saying a short sale. I'm not saying that a short sale is necessary. I'm just saying that both of you would cooperate to sell that property and put it on the market. If there's equity in it, you don't need a short sale if there's equity because the loan's paid off. So the order of this court today is that both of you are to try to find a realtor that would sell the property for whatever the market value is, and that you would both cooperate on that. To the extent that the two of you don't reach any other agreement regarding that property, this court order is going to be that the two of you, as of today, start looking for somebody to put that property on the market and sell it. If you reach some other agreement, you can submit an agreement in writing as to what you're going to do with that property. But if you can't agree, you're going to have to get divorced, and I have to adjudicate all the marital property. So within 10 days, you need to submit a name of a realtor, and if you do a letter, stipulation that you both agree to use that person, then you'll use that person. Whatever the fair market value is going to be is what it's going to sell for. I don't know what it is. If it's got equity or if it doesn't. If it requires a short sale because you have no equity, then so be it. That's going to be the case. If you cannot mutually agree on somebody, then you're each going to submit a name of a licensed realtor who can list it. Then I'll pick one name out of the hat, and then I'll do a minute order, and I'll provide it to you, and that person will then be the realtor, and the two of you are to cooperate with the signing of any documents for the sale of that property. Understood, ma'am?
Yes, I brought paperwork, just as you're asking, to the other judge. I brought that in when we were there Friday. A realtor that gave...
Kim?
No. I gave all the paperwork stating what the value of the house and the areas were and what ours was.
Right.
And it's all, I have it all together.
Okay, I don't need at this point what the value of the house is. I just need a realtor who could list that property and move forward on that.
I had talked to them, and they said yes, so if I can give that paperwork to him and he can look at it and
Was that Mr. Bloomberg or Kent Bloomberg or something like that?
No.
He contacted me and said you'd
I
also
had-
contact him.
Yes, I had talked to him also.
Any problem with him or what?
No, I don't have a problem.
Well, can we agree on that? We use this Bloomberg? I don't have his number anymore.
I have it.
Okay, then pursuant to the stipulation of the parties, we'll use Mr. Bloomberg, and that the two of you will cooperate, whatever needs to be done to move forward on that. Now, notwithstanding if the two of you reach some type of an agreement, otherwise, that one of you is going to keep it and make the payments and hold the other harmless, however you want to do that, you're free to do that. Okay?
Yes, he had already been making plans to leave and move to California.
However,
So, yeah.
that's up to the two of you.
Okay.
So unless you reach a written agreement on that, then we're going to proceed with Mr. Bloomberg listing the property and having it up for sale.
That doesn't include a short sale by him at this point, right? That's
But
just
no,
a straight sale.
Right now, it would be a sale, and if it looks like he's able to do that, then that's fine. If it looks like there is not equity in there, whatever. If you could work something out with the bank and there's no penalty, then I don't see any reason why that.
The only thing I can point out, Judge, is that I did a loan modification 2.5 years ago. I think you still have like another 6 months on there, and you're familiar with loan modification. At that time, it was $320,000. Now, the paperwork says there's 95,000 as the first on there, but it's paying down. There's still like 6 months on the third part of that. If that's not done, if the house is sold before then it reverts to 240,000 plus the 95,000.
Well, if that's the case, you can. Are you aware of that, ma'am?
Yes, and it was 92,000, yes.
Well, it seems to me then it may not be a good idea to list that right now.
But there's also a second on there, sir. 32,000. That's what I'm pointing. And then I've got a $70,000 tax lien, so it doesn't make sense to list that right now.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe it doesn't make sense to list that. If you're going to go back to 240,000 or whatever that amount is, when it could be dropped down to 92,000, and you have to wait 6 months, it seems to me that that would be something. So, why don't you just check into that at this point, and then when we have the final divorce decree, I can put orders in that would protect that asset to the extent that we can. Okay. All right. So that being said. Ma'am, I'm going to have you prepare an order from today, and you can submit it for my signature, and then I will sign off on it as long as it's accurate, and then you can send him a copy in the mail, do a notice of entry of order, and then the two of you need to, during this next 4 weeks, you need to put everything together as if we're going to trial on this case, and if you fail to do so, then there may be some defenses or there may be some arguments that you would like to present to this court that I'm going to limit to, because you're not complying with this order. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
You also, ma'am? All right, then we will see. Now, you're going to have to make sure, I believe I gave you till the 4 weeks, so that is the 27th. So you need to make sure that pretrial memorandum is filed with your list of exhibits and that you exchange those documents on or before 5 p.m. on the 27th. So if you have to mail them to each other or you have to do something, they have to be in the other person's hand no later than the 27th at 5 p.m. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll see you here on March 3rd at 1 o'clock.